everyone, hopefully all of you are doing great. Today I will be explaining you the difference between the interim audit and the final audit. You must have heard regarding the audit, but the overall audit period is actually divided into two phases, the interim audit and the final audit. Let's understand this with a simple example. Suppose there is a company named XYZ Limited. They required mandatory audit for the year 2025. The financial year started from the 1st of January till the 31st of December. Mr. Ahmed, the auditor of XYZ Limited, begins its audit work from the 1st of September for the year end 2025. The financials for the 2025 were not yet finalized because the year end is not yet finalized. He has begun work in the mid of the financial year on the 1st of September. The year ended on the 31st of December. So it's still 4 months are left till the year end. So the work has already begun by Mr. Ahmed, the auditor of XYZ Limited. Any work that he has done till the year end, it is part of the interim audit period. Any work he has done at the year end, which is 31st of December, and after the year end, after the conclusion of year end, this work is part of final audit. So basically there are two periods, before the 31st of December and after the 31st of December. Any work that is performed before the 31st of December is part of interim audit, no matter when the auditor is begin its work during the financial year. It may be 1st of September, it may be 1st of August 2025, whatever. Any work that is performed before the year end is part of interim audit, and any work that is performed at the year end and after the year end is part of the final audit till the date of audit report, when the audit concludes, when auditor has finalized his opinion on the financial statements, whether financial statements give true and fair view or not. Right? So basically the audit is divided into two periods, the interim audit and the final audit, and this distinction is based on the period of the audit. Right? So what typical procedures do we perform during the interim audit? Obviously, the year is not yet finalized, financials are not yet finalized. So when auditor has begun work, he obviously beginning to assess the risk of material misstatement in an entity. He obtain understanding of the entity and its environment, what products and services entity is offering, what kind of management the entity has employed, whether they are honest or not, whether they have previously part of any fraudulent activities or not, whether entity is selling technological based products, fashion based products, which are prone to obsolescence, what governance the entity is having, what sort of competition the entity is facing. That's what the understanding the auditor is obtaining to assess the inherent risk at the FS level, at the assertion level. Likewise, auditor obviously obtain understanding of the internal controls. Auditor will read the flow charts on sales, how the sale is conducted, how the purchases were made, how the fixed assets were purchased, how the inventory count has been conducted, right? So basically, he's obtaining the understanding of the controls. First, he will understand the design, and then if the design is good enough, he will test the controls to actually understand the effectiveness of the controls in effectively controlling the errors in the financial statements. Also, auditor perform procedures on class of transactions. Remember, class of transactions are loan transactions, which you can verify any time, not wait for the final year, unlike year-end balances, which you need to verify at the year-end. So once the final financial statements are finalized, at the year-end, you send confirmations to debtors, to creditors to confirm the year-end balances. So circulation of confirmations to verify the year-end balances is a part of final audit activity, not the interim audit, right? Likewise, you verify the closing stock, the stock that is left out at the year end. So once the year is ended, you observe the count to verify whether the reporting inventory is physically present or not, quantitatively as well as qualitatively. Also, you can consider subsequent events, which are the events taking place after the year end, whether they are adjusting or non-adjusting events. So if they are adjusting, you need adjustment in financial statement. If they are not, if they are material, you may need disclosure. Likewise, you consider obtaining written representation from management, which is to be obtained nearer to the date of audit report. Right? So all these are activities which you are carrying in the final audit after the year end. Any activity that is performed before the year end is part of interim audit. Usually considering the risk assessment, determining the materiality, obtaining understanding of the controls. These are all the activities that we are carrying at the interim audit. Now, remember, interim audit is not mandatory. You're not necessarily required to perform audit before the year end. However, you do so. Why? Because of its advantages. What are the advantages? Obviously, auditor have to submit audit report at the very date which is required by law. So auditor is facing in stringent deadlines. And remember, there are companies of different sizes. There are multinational companies which have millions, trillions of transactions. So in a very limited time period, you do not have the time to perform extensive audit, thorough audit. So auditor have to start work before the year end so that you should complete audit till the deadline of the audit report. Right? So interim audit has this advantage. You perform audit before the year end so that you should meet the deadlines. Also, it helped in reducing the workload at the year end because you have already finished some of the work before the year end, so you have little left after the year end. Likewise, you report quickly to the shareholders rather wasting a lot of time after the year end, which may lead to longer reporting period. Also, it helped in identification of significant matters way before the year end, which helped in focusing on riskier areas during the audit. Right? So interim audit has the advantages, and they are very, very important advantages, which is why interim audit is conducted by the audit, though it is not mandatory. Hopefully it is understood. Thank you very much.